What's up everyone? In this video, we're going to be covering how Christmas and December affect the stock market. Over the past couple weeks, the market has been going crazy. We saw a lot of downwards movement, a lot of upwards movement. We have some stocks like Apple breaking all-time highs, and the market's going crazy. So in this video, I just want to look back, throughout history to see how the stock market performed during situations like this. With that being said, we have a really good video today. We're going to cover, some theories on why the stock market tends to rise in December and some other good setups right now. So stick around to the end of the video. It's going to be quick, to the point, and let's get right into it. So if we go to Investopedia.com, we can see the distribution of returns for each month in the stock market. So this study by Investopedia goes all the way back to January of 1950, and it goes all the way up to April of 2017. And we can see December is usually a pretty dang good month for the stock market. If we zoom in on this, we can see here, actually, it's better if I go like that. So if we look at the chart, we can see December, on average, the S&P 500 rises by 1.6%. You compare that to September, which is normally a pretty bad month for the stock market, where September it's normally down 0.5%. So either way, we can just see, historically speaking, December is a pretty good month for the stock market. And there's a couple theories as to why this is, and I'll cover that shortly. But looking at this December, so far it's been pretty good. I know the end of November and the middle of November was a little bit rough, but I'll tell you, we actually had a really good week in the market. And, when you have companies like Apple exploding, not just breaking, exploding past all-time highs, it's hard to see the stock market fall because Apple, one, it just has a large influence on other stocks, but it also has a pretty heavy weighting in the S&P 500. So with that being said, if the trend with Apple and even Microsoft and some of these other large tech stocks hold up, the market should do pretty good. So that's good to see. So far, we're off to a good start. But I want to cover a little bit, or I want to go over a little bit more why the stock market generally rises in December. Like I said, there are a couple theories for this, and I'll cover a couple of them. But we could say, or we could just say that generally, Christmas time, December, it's a happy time. Generally, there's optimism, and that's good and all. Another theory is that a lot of times holiday bonuses get paid out around this time, and those can be invested into the stock market, which is also another possibility. Another theory is that large investors and institutional traders tend to go on vacation around this time, and generally they tend to be a little bit more pessimistic, you can say, which, if that's the case, it would leave more room for the smaller traders and maybe the smaller institutions to who are generally more bullish to have more power on the market. And then another theory is that with the increased holiday shopping, obviously it's good for these major companies. And then the last theory, which is what I believe in the most, is that it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Think about it this way. If everyone just looks back on December, like we were just looking at for on Investopedia, if everyone's looking on this Investopedia chart saying, wow, December's historically one of the best months for the stock market, what do you think everyone's going to do? They're going to buy stocks in December, or they're going to buy it, towards the end of November, So I think out of all the theories regarding why the market tends to rise in December and the end of the year, I think that the self-fulfilling prophecy is the most likely result because, it's just how the market works a lot of times. If everyone thinks the market's going to rise and, people they jump in stocks. So feel free to input on why you think the market tends to rise in December. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts. And then another interesting fact we can say is that more than 66% of the time, dating back all the way to the 1960s, December was a positive month for the market, which is pretty big because let's say statistics can be skewed. Let's say the average return for the stock market in December is, what did it say? It's 1.6%. While that data is great and all, there could have just been a couple really good Decembers back in the 1950s and 1960s that skewed the average. You know what I mean? So the fact that we know that more than 66% of the time December is a positive month, that's also a good statistic to know because just relying on historical averages isn't the best thing to do. So keep that in mind. But all in all, we're set to have a good December. Generally speaking, the market does good in December and towards the end of the year. Just one thing to keep in mind is just because historically it does good, that doesn't mean it's going to do great this year. Obviously keep that in mind. And then we do have an important event happening on December 15th. We have Powell speaking with the FOMC press conference. This will be pretty important. I know the inflation data we had this week was a little bit rough, so it'll be very interesting to see what Powell has to say regarding that. Also, another thing, we have the market kind of, it was mid-range, but now it's heading really close to that all-time high. If we look at the SPY, it's at like 471 right now. The all-time high is right around $473.54. We're trending up there, so we're getting really close. And like I said earlier in the video, if some of these powerhouse stocks like Apple and Microsoft, like they don't have to keep exploding up, but if they just hold their ground, it'll be really hard for the market to fall, because Apple, it's been on a crazy uptrend, especially over the past couple weeks, and that has a huge influence on the market, and it definitely adds a lot of positivity, not only to the S&P 500, but to a lot of other stocks. So that's great to see. And then one last topic I wanted to cover is the stocks that I feel like a lot of people sleep on, and that are the value stocks. These value stocks, like you could say Starbucks, McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Walmart. They don't have the hype like Apple or Tesla does, but a lot of times their options are a lot cheaper. You can get some pretty good deals on them, and they also pay better dividends than a lot of these other companies. So take that however you want, but some other stocks I'm watching are Coca-Cola. They're looking pretty good. A 2.5% update is pretty huge for a company like Coca-Cola. Their options are so cheap too. Like if we go to the options chain, we can go all the way out to maybe like February of 2022, and you can buy an in-the-money option for like $250. That's so cheap, and I might jump on something like that. I feel like it's at a pretty good level. Also, we have companies like McDonald's doing pretty well, Walmart, Starbucks is looking pretty good, Procter & Gamble's looking really good, and then CAT's not looking bad either. But I just wanted to showcase some of the value stocks, because I know a lot of times people don't, they just forget about them a little bit. So with that being said, I hope you learned something useful from this video. Main takeaway, market normally does good around December. There's a couple theories behind that, but so far we're looking pretty good for the end of 2021. With that being said, let me know what stocks you are watching for the end of the year, and thank you guys so much for watching. If you like my content, please subscribe. It helps me out so much, and besides that, thank you so much for watching.